Today, I'm going to give you a tour of my studio. You've started your adventure. Now you have a story to tell. But how? This is your show, RV Media Creators. I'm Garrett, and in this community, we will show you how. So let's show the world your story. All right, welcome to another live stream. I do want to let you know right now that if you're having problems watching this show, I will re-upload the entirety of this video so that you'll be able to see it in its entirety. But anyways, thank you so much for joining. Today I wanted to go over some of the tools that I use to get some pretty cool live streams and videos. I'm not going to necessarily go into what I use to edit, but more of the equipment I use for live streaming, how I have it set up, and just things like that. So if you have any questions, put it in the chat and I will get to it as soon as I'm done kind of walking you through all the different things that I have. And by all means, this is not something that you need to do to get amazing live streams. Hey, nursing our travel bug. I'm trying out a antenna from Nursing Our Travel Bug to see if that gets me a little bit better signal, because if you were here on Saturday, our live stream was horrid as far as the internet connection, and it's kind of hit or miss out here where we're at this RV park. So that is why I'm recording this as well. So if it is a terrible live stream, I will make sure that this video gets uploaded and you'll be able to watch this as a video as well. All right, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and start off with what I am looking at right now. This is my Canon EOS M50. It is a pretty nice entry-level mirrorless camera. You have a lot of options with this camera that I really like. And what is so cool about this camera is that you can live stream from it. You can do really high quality pictures and videos. Granted, there are cameras that do much higher quality, and there are cameras that do much worse quality. But as a mirrorless camera, you can't go wrong with this thing. We have sent this camera in to get it fixed, and that was just because we dropped the screen during a what do you call it? A time lapse, and that time lapse, hey, kind of messed things up. But we got it fixed, and they fixed a few other issues with it, so we're all good there. Now, one of the really cool things that I like about this Canon is that I can change aspects of it from my iPad. So I have this set up kind of like a secondary monitor, and it is reading it directly, but I can change features or functions during a stream. So let's say my stream is too dark. I can actually just take the exposure and I can bring it up, and you can see, oh, it's really washed out. So I can actually change my exposure here till I get the desired look that I want. And then when you have it set on these manual settings, it's very easy to keep the settings the same. You're not going to have the thank you. Nursing Our Travel Bug said shared you out on Facebook. Hopefully you get some people joining. But what this does is it allows you to set a bunch of settings like exposure, colors, and things like that to a manual setting. That way you are not getting the fluctuations in color. And later on in this video, I'm going to show you a few different webcams that I have that I've used in the past, and you can see the difference in quality. Now let's start talking about the lighting. Now, my background for a long time was in stage and theatrical lighting, which meant that I had a lot of equipment, lighting and things like that I owned. Well, when we hit the road, I actually sold a lot of that equipment or got rid of it because I didn't really need it. And 60 to 80 pound lights don't travel well in trailers. So I was able to keep a few of the items that I have. And one of those items is a little tiny par can. Now, if you ever done theater, you know that the par cans are those lights that are way up in the scaffolding. They may be white, they may be, that kind of stuff. So let's show you my little par cans. They're par can 16s, and they take a par can 16 light bulb. I have LED light bulbs in it, so they're very energy efficient and they don't give off a ton of heat. And that is what is lighting up right behind me. They don't need a whole lot of craziness. I just have them plugged into an outlet and off they go. But it creates a nice atmosphere for my videos. And for me, I absolutely love having the ability to change up the colors. And if I wanted to, I could get some cheap color gels and change it up again. I only have like red, blue, and UV. So if I wanted to do a little black light, I could do that. But I also could use this as like a primary light as well. It is I want to say a warm color. As far as color temperature wise, it's more like 3500 Kelvin as far as a color temperature. And what I'm using here is more daylight at about 5500. And let's talk about my primary light. It is right now battery powered, but it is a little tiny LED light that plugs into the cold shoe, hot shoe of your camera. You can plug it into other things. You can run it off of lithium batteries, or you can run it off of regular AA's. Right now I'm using AA's because the batteries that I have that are rechargeable are kind of wigging out on me, so I haven't been able to get them to work very consistently. But I am going to be trying those par cans out, seeing if I can get some good use out of those as far as primary lights. Right now, this is the setup I'm using, and it's working fine for me. Next, I wanted to go over this guy right here. This is my Blue Yeti stereo studio microphone. It is USB. It plugs directly into my computer, and I have volume control. I have multi-directional inputs. So I can do a ton of different types of uses. Let's say I'm interviewing someone. I can actually be sitting across from someone, set up this microphone, and you could catch both of us together. You can set it up to go just one direction, and that's how I have it set up right now. You can do it to be like omnidirectional, so it picks up everything. So let's say you have a group of 6 or 8 people talking, social distancing. You have the ability to put this right in the middle and catch what is going on around you. So it's a very good microphone. Nursing Out Travel Bug has them. If you look at a lot of microphones that some of the bigger YouTubers, shows, like news shows and things like that, you'll see this microphone quite a bit. Now, there are more expensive, better microphones than this, and there are worse microphones, and I've used all of those types. But this is probably one of the best value for quality that you can get, especially early on with your YouTube career. There are much better options out here, but if you want to spend the same amount of money for, let's say, your computer, your camera, you can spend $10,000 to $12,000 on a microphone. Hello, Beyond Beauty 3. Welcome, welcome. If you have any questions, leave it in the chat, and at the end of my walkthrough of my studio, I will get to those. So, microphones are key, and you'll see that in a little bit when I show you a few other options that you have available. All right, next I wanted to talk about the monopod that I use as a tripod in this studio. I've used it for quite a long time, and I've, for the most part, have been very happy with it. It has blown over once, which is why I had to get the camera screen fixed. However, for situations where you're in tight quarters, I am sitting not 2 or 3 feet away from this monopod, and it has a small base at the bottom that works really well for controlled situations or situations where it's not very windy. So it sets up really well. The other thing it does is it is a monopod. So you can fold up the legs, use it kind of as a walking stick, and then you can get quick shots. Boom, steady shot, get it, you know, and then you're off again. Very, very good and multi-used piece of equipment. And that's something that really and truly, if you are full-time RVing or you travel a lot, having an item that gives you multiple uses is key. Being able to have a monopod is great. Being able to have a tripod is great. Being able to change the height, you know, up to like 6.5 feet is great. But if you have just a monopod, or if you have just a tripod, the tripod is going to be really steady, but it also sets up really wide. If you have something else that is not that way, then, you know, it's going to be a little bit rougher. And it all takes up space. So finding something that has multiple uses that you can use while you're on the road is pretty cool. Now, this is a piece of equipment, the next one I'm going to talk about, that is a very behind the scenes piece of equipment, but it's very, very crucial. And that is my CamLink 4K capture device from Elgato. Now, what this does is it takes the HDMI out from my camera and it puts it into a USB 3 signal. Now, what that allows you to do is to take the camera view that you are seeing right now and turn it into a high quality image. What you're seeing right here is all because of this capture card, which was one of the better investments that we've made. So if you have a YouTube channel and you already have a Canon M50 and you like live streams, get one of the Elgato CamLinks, get it set up. You can use it on StreamYard, you can use it on OBS, you can use it on many different streaming platforms, and it makes your image look amazing. This is fairly very close to what you would see, you know, when I'm just making a normal video. Which, you know, a lot of the things that make a really good live stream and make really good videos are behind the scenes stuff. Some of it is how you edit, some of it is what you shoot with, and some of it is how you get creative. So if you haven't checked out a lot of my other videos, I do videos on how to edit, I do product reviews, I do how to make a story, how to use what you have to better your story. There are people with millions of subscribers on YouTube that shoot, edit, and export videos all on their phone. So just to say, oh, well, he has all this gear. He has an M50, he has a Blue Yeti, he has LED lights. it is not necessary to tell a better story. I like to be creative. I like to be artistic myself, especially when it comes to lighting and how I edit my videos. So for me, this is a way that I can express myself and kind of show that, you know, I do have some experience doing things like this. So next, I wanted to give you a kind of comparisons of qualities of video capture equipment. So first one I want to show you is a webcam that we have had for probably a year and a half, or probably before we actually hit the road full time when we left Washington. And it was a great addition because it gave you the option to do manual focus, which you don't really get that from many live webcams. And I'm going to show you what this thing looks like as soon as this video is done. And this is the difference that you can see from this camera. I don't have too many options as far as how I edit. I don't have too many, let me pull that down, color options or exposure options, but this does really well in outdoor situations. This does really well with other kinds of situations. So just because I'm using this in a studio and it looks terrible, that's really just the difference between the quality of equipment. Whereas that is what you can get if you spend some money. The thing that I really enjoy about having like the M50 or any kind of mirrorless that has the ability to live stream is you can use the same camera to make amazing videos, and then you can jump over and use the same camera to do a live stream. So, you know, take it for what it's worth. The next one is the built-in web camera that is on my Mac. And I use this Mac for video editing. I use it for streaming. I use it for my thumbnails. So there's a lot of uses that I get out of my Mac, which is been very helpful. But this is the image that you get off of the camera app right there. So, you know, there are good and there are bad. Don't let a bad quality microphone or a bad quality camera stop you from telling your story. You do not have to wait till you have drone shots in my studio. I'll give you an overview of what it looks like after I'm done here. But I don't know if I can get a drone shot. But you can tell your story if you have a cell phone. You can tell your story well with anything you have. Most cell phones nowadays have pretty decent cameras, and you have programs or apps that you can get that you can edit directly off your phone. So you don't need a computer to get started. You don't need fancy equipment to get started with your YouTube. Now there are other things like how to use the YouTube Studios, how to use tagging and thumbnails and all that, but I've covered all that in other videos. So I highly recommend that you check out some of my other videos on some of these different subjects to see if it helps you. All right, next I wanted to show you just kind of how it is all set up. So this is kind of what I am looking at right now. I have my OBS Studios just here, and then right up there is my light that's right above it. down below is where I have my monitor for my M50. And then there was my camera. I kind of, for some reason, went over that. And then I have just my little park hand set up in the back there. And then that is basically it. I have a lot of equipment in here, and I'm working on ways to try and make it more efficient, because right now I'm sitting about 6 inches away from a bunch of crates that have this stacked on top of it, and it's a little cramped, but it makes a better experience for you as the community, as somebody that's watching my video, my live stream. If I try to fly my drone in here, it'll probably get sucked up into the ceiling. So as much as I would absolutely love to fly my drone in here, it's probably not going to happen. Sorry, guys. Okie dokie. If you guys have any questions or would like me to go over anything else that I have in my studio, put it in the chat right now. I'm just going to go over some of the items pretty quickly as kind of a recap. So the main camera I'm using is my Canon M50, and it's a fantastic camera. I highly recommend to any YouTuber, especially ones that are up and coming. Next is those lights that I have that are coloring the back wall, and those are great for multiple purposes, and you can get those easily on Amazon. They're probably about $20. Next is my primary light that I use, and it's a newer CN150. It's a battery powered LED light. It actually has the ability to do both 5500 and 3500 Kelvin color temperatures, so you can make it more warm or harsh if you liked. The next one that I use is my Blue Yeti microphone. I think audio is one of the first items you should consider upgrading if you're trying to upgrade your equipment, because people can put up with a lesser quality video, but if your audio is horrid, it makes it very hard to watch. Next is my Subaru Monopod. Has multiple uses and is a fantastic option for multiple solutions. I also have my CamLink 4K, which connects my M50 to my computer. Absolutely love that. Let's see, and then I pretty much edit everything on my iMac. All right, so I do have a couple questions from Kent. Hard drive storage. Well, let me show you. Let's see if I can get it out of here. I would have known. So I've been putting all my stuff on physical external drives. Right now I have pretty much everything on this 10 terabyte drive. I don't pay for like cloud storage because most of what I do does not have subscriptions. So I have pretty much just multiple external hard drives. I have a 5 terabyte hard drive and a 2 terabyte hard drive. So I kind of will fill up those and then I'll move it on to my 10 terabyte hard drive. And so I have the ability to go back 2.5 years and pull footage from like when we were remodeling our house before we sold it. And it is not anything crazy. I'm not using like solid state drives or anything like that, or any high performance drives. So what I normally do when I edit my videos is I actually will take the folders from the the external drive from my camera, I will put it onto a local drive onto my computer, which is a hybrid solid state standard hard drive, which is 1 terabyte. I will do my edit, and when I'm done with my edit, I will move it over into an external hard drive, and that will allow me to keep the footage close by if I need to pull from it again, but also gets it off my computer. And I do not normally edit off of my external drive. I have pulled in a couple files here or there, and Final Cut does a pretty good job of optimizing the media. And that allows you to kind of pull the footage out, and then it creates kind of a copy of it inside the hard drive or the program with Final Cut. And then when you're done, you just delete the render files and you're good to go. Kent also asked, is the Blue Yeti a USB microphone? Yes, it is. What I do like about it is you can plug it into any USB port. So it is pretty simple. It's plug and play, just like any other microphone that is computer based. You don't need to have any kind of external mixer for it. Let's see. And you have the option, like I'm wearing headphones, so I can actually hear myself, and I can change the volume up and down. So if I like to hear myself just a little bit more, I can turn it up. If I don't like it as much, I can turn it down. And then on the back side, it has the ability to change the direction of the microphone, make it 2 direction, 1 direction, and you can also change the gain of the microphone as well. So Nursing Our Travel Book says, Ope, thanks for reading my mind. Yeah. Yes, Ken also said pulling footage is awesome to be able to insert into current videos. We've done quite a few videos where it was like, we've been on the road for a year. We've been doing this or that. And being able to say, okay, I want to pull from these different events that we had, from these different states that we traveled in. I've been able to actually get some pretty decent content because it's all still here. The majority of it is sitting in, a external drive. Sometimes I have to say, okay, this is the footage I need. Let me move it over. It might take 3 or 4 hours, so it's not super quick, but having all the footage with me is fantastic. Okay. If there's any other questions, make sure to leave it in the comments. If you guys haven't checked out Diary of a Family, we recently on our channel finished our epic road trip from Texas to Reno, and we love how that video turned out. We also traveled with our friends Nursing Our Travel Bug, and we hope to travel with them more in the future. Kent said our 5,000 sub celebration was fun to pull footage most have never seen previously, and I've done that as well. A couple of our videos, I couldn't find a place for certain footage that I took, and I'm like, I really want to use this footage, but I don't have a way to use it. Like when we were boondocking, well, primarily me and the kids were boondocking in Flagstaff last year, I took a ton of footage there, but there was not a whole lot of structure for me to be able to put it seamlessly together into a video. But then we did a whole series on boondocking, and all of that footage that I took months ago all of a sudden became relevant. And I've been really happy to be able to pull footage that I haven't used on previous videos to do pretty much the same thing that Kent is mentioning. And it is awesome because there are a lot of people that join channels, especially growing channels, that are like, oh, this is awesome, I really like this, and they join, but they may not take the time to go back and watch previous videos. I hear a lot of people say, well, I wish I would have captured my story like when I was not full-time, and the process it took us to sell our house and to become full-time. And we were able to do that. We were able to document our process from when we decided to renovate our house and sell it to where we are now. And the only way that you can really see that is by going back and rewatching our videos. But if you have a lot of that footage available for you to pull, you can talk about things and you can bring that back. Be like, hey, if you want to watch this entire adventure of when we remodeled our house, well, go back and watch it. But here's a little quick snippet of what happened. And that might help boost your views. It might help boost your watch time, because to get to a higher place in YouTube, let's say a 5,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers, you have to be dedicated to making videos. You have to be dedicated to making amazing content. And, you know, if you just kind of half-heartedly do it, then you're going to be like, well, I don't know, I'm not feeling that good. I don't know if I can make it, blah, blah, blah. You're going to kind of, you know. So consistency and always trying to learn how to be better is going to make more people want to see your videos, make more people want to watch what you're doing, and, you know, like that. Nursing Our Travel Bug said, oh yeah, we wish we started at the beginning and were consistent. It is hard to be consistent for sure. But I want to show you that it is possible. Right now, I'm pretty much managing 2 channels. We do a live stream and a main video on on Diary of a Family, sorry. And then I do a video on Friday for RV media creators. Now I've been thinking of possibly doing like a quick tip video midweek, maybe like Monday or Tuesday, but I have some other projects that I'm working on currently, and I don't want to overextend myself that way. But hope you guys enjoyed this studio tour. It was a lot of fun to put it together. I've had people ask me, well, what kind of microphone do you use? What kind of camera do you use? What is, you know, the lighting you use? How do you get the camera to look so good? And, you know, stuff like that. So I definitely wanted just to kind of go over how I have things set up. Maybe this will help give you some ideas on how you could make a better studio, better live stream, or even just better videos. I have made a lot of videos on how to edit, how to edit on mobile, on things like that. I've been doing a lot of live streams lately just because I really want to have some interaction with you guys and be able to have some things I can just do more long form. So anyways, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it a live stream. If you guys have any more questions, please get it in right now before I head out. And I'm not sure how the video has been looking on your end, but I'm probably going to re-upload this as a separate video instead of this live stream, because it looks like I've dropped about half my frames, which I don't know how it looks for you guys, but I'm not super happy with that. But it's better than nothing, and it's awesome to be able to have some interaction with you guys. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And remember, I'm Garrett, and I want to help you tell your story. Bye, everybody.